Hey everybody, I just wanted to give a quick update on this Gateway laptop. If you haven't seen the video, it's one list called I Got Scammed on Walmart.com. I'm sorry if you didn't like that title, but YouTube algorithm, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes. And I didn't realize this box was as bent as it is. Anyway, I continued to have very, very serious problems with this laptop. To the point where I put Linux on it, and that worked a little bit, but I kept getting major issues where when you go to run programs, it would just lock up and you'd have to reboot, and you might have to go through it like 4 or 5 times. Turns out, on this motherboard, the RAM is soldered on. But you can replace the SSD, which I decided to try. I have never heard of a 4C. They claim this is an SSD, but it has the M key. Or, I mean, it claims to be NVMe, but it has an M key. This is what I put in there. Well, not this exact one, but a very similar one from Inland. NVMe SSD. And, I am dropping things tonight, ain't I? And, that seemed to help a lot. The SSD I put in there already had Windows on it. And, Windows 10, so Windows 10, the drive had Windows 10 Pro, so when I put it in here, which has Windows 10 Home Key, it goes, dude, we're not activating that crap, so don't worry about that. But one of the things I ran into is, I'm not going to make you guys watch a whole, oh crap, it's, I forgot Steam is on there. And, okay, so the mouse is actually working today. Sometimes it acts like sometimes it'll act like the mouse button is already clicked. But I was able to run Cinebench on it, and the score is not great. But it went through on multi-core, no problem. No lockups, nothing. It's that Intel Core i5 1035G1. It starts out like it's really quick, but then is not. I had it running on a 10-minute loop. I think it does like 2.5 on a 10-minute loop. Although I did not try the single core. Kind of curious about that. I'm also running on battery right now too, so I don't think I want to kill it too bad. It might not even do a whole loop on a single core. But let me do something here. When you do CPU, it is doing, seems like it's, I guess it's going to bounce back and forth between which cores, or maybe not, I don't know, but it's running at, wow, this thing's boosted up to 3 gigahertz. I'm surprised by that. And let me see, you can actually see that, but I'll still zoom you up just a little bit. I'm using my phone as a camera today, so I have basically camera audio, not mic'd up, so everything's not cool. Oh, sorry. Doing the best I can. But it does seem to be just fine. I ran memtest on it, and it failed for a stupid reason. I don't remember what that reason was. But I was able to run, I think 3D Mark locked up on it. I can't remember. Okay, there we go. I forget which one locked up on it. I think it was Time Spy locked up on it. But all in all, because occasionally I'll get a watchdog error. And when I do, it seems to, what it seems to do is it will lock up, but I'll get like a watchdog error, and it will show, when you Google that, it tells you that it's possibly a driver issue. But I will be, because actually I think it was while I was collecting system info that it locked up on the other one. I haven't tried the CPU benchmark. But it was shown that the watchdog error was most likely a driver issue. So I really don't know. But as long as I'm not running benchmarks on it, it seems to run just fine. I've been using it a little bit. I've been watching YouTube on it. I've had no issues doing that. Okay, so it is actually going to run this one. I'm probably just going to let it run out while I explain. Okay. I do worry that this is going to lock up during this test. Whew. Man, it is not fast, is it? But wow, I knew this wasn't fast, but I didn't realize it was this slow. I mean, it's actually got a really nice screen. I didn't really touch on that in the video. I think if I had gotten the AMD one I had ordered, I would have had a better result. Ooh, you can hear that fan running too. But I didn't touch on a couple things. On the bottom of the machine, you got the two intakes, and then you also have the SSD. You can actually add a secondary SSD to it. There are two M.2 slots on the board. I think they're both the longer ones. I think these are the 80s. The 2280s. I need to get a less squeaky chair. But normally, but also I didn't mention it's got a micro SD. Can't tell if that's a mic or just some sort of light. Headphone, USB 3. I think it's just a standard USB 3, nothing special. There is a Type-C port. As near as I can tell, it is just Type-C. USB 3.0 speeds, HDMI, another USB 3, and then the power port. I don't believe you can charge it off of this. I have not tried. And it has the regular power point and the Kensington lock on the front. There's nothing. At the top, you got the two. Let me make sure you can see. You got the two speakers. You have a power light, caps lock, and number lock. There is no number lock on no physical number lock, but you hit the number lock key here, and these keys here become your number lock. There was something else I wanted to mention. Somebody mentioned something about the keyboard. Keyboard's okay. It's not great. The sound isn't great. But overall, it's a decent working little computer. Then, it's running the 8 threads one here now. Overall, for what I'm doing with it, it'll work just fine. Basically, it's just an office computer. But now that I know that the SSD was my primary problem, because it would just come up with all kinds of things, and it was always a different, sorry about that, a different error code. But when I ran the error codes, they all came back to store, or some came to storage, some came to memory, which is what made me run memtest. And it was actually on the CPU that, I think it was on the CPU run that it failed. It wasn't the actual memory. But, what I want to do is I want to put this in. I have a external sled, and I'm going to run the SSD benchmark on it. What was that? Not Passmark. Passmark's what we're running now. No, we're not running past Mark. But that's going to, but you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, this has been a very rocky road with this thing. It's one of the reasons I haven't really put out a lot of videos, because I had to do a lot of troubleshooting. I sometimes like to do troubleshooting videos, but when I'm stumped, I try not to make you guys sit through all that, because that can be boring as well as just really weird. I don't think I can cancel this, can I? I might be able to Alt F4. Oh yeah, that's the other thing about the oh, I can. The keyboard. Oh, that's the other thing. The mouse does not really like to stay in there, so sometimes I get... But when you are... The FN is on by the function numbers or function row, whatever you want to call it. That is on by default. So if I hit F1, it switches the LCD off. So if I want to go to help, I have to hit FN F1, and then that brings up help. That is weird to me, because like when I do... what was I trying to do? I was trying to do... Control Delete, and I kept turning on number lock. Okay, that one's working. Okay, so that one worked. Okay, there was something I was trying to do. Wow, that used quite a bit of battery, but it still says that there's 71% or 3 hours remaining. Apparently I did a video on this SSD. Oh, that was when my computer was acting strange over that keyboard. Actually, this is the SSD out of that. Same background. But yeah, I might try running some OBS off of here at some point. I have installed Steam. I think Steam's actually running right now. But I don't have any games installed. I need to install Borderland. This was a weird game. Last time I played was 2019. Wow. That's how most of my games are. Last time you played was 3, 4, 5 years ago. Anyway, I need to stop rambling about this thing. But I wanted to give an update on it. To this day, I'm going to say I probably don't recommend purchasing one like this. If you're going to buy a gateway laptop from Walmart, it's probably best to just buy one in stock at the store that you can physically put your hands on, because these things are not as good as they could be. And they're not as bad as they could be. But anyway, thank you for watching. Have a blessed day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And have a good one.